Hope this video finds you well. So today, we're not actually going to do a ton of programming. We're going to do a little bit of cleanup work, and we're going to start, barely start into some UI. But we're not even going to touch any nodes. That's how barely we're going to start. Now that we've got the piece kind of going wherever it is we want it to go, my beautiful idea is if you land on a spot, then it could ask you a trivia question, and we would have to have a dialog box come up for that, and we can make that. That is totally possible, right? Best practices with UI. Godot UI is funky, and you'll see it, but this purple box is where Godot's going to draw the UI, and right now, even though, man, I have our game running, even though when our game runs, it looks correct, and we could only live, 99 or 100 more years just having this. If we're going to do UI, the easiest thing to do is to get this purple box kind of under control. I did way too much research, and I figured out how to we're going to fix our project settings. I'm going to do this better. Our viewport width, I'm going project settings. Let me do that again just to make sure you saw it. Project settings, project settings, general, display, I'm in window. Our viewport width and our viewport height is the purple box. And let me see if it'll even change this in real time. It is technically 640, by 360. And it's not going to save that in real time. Boo-boo. But if I do that, it's hard to see because of the board. But if I make the board invisible, you can see that the board and the viewport are now the same size, even though when I run it, it's going to look like trash. See, nobody wants to play that game. Project settings. I'm not 100% sure why this works. I just know that it works. When we come down here to stretch mode, we're going to hit canvas items. I did not do this initially because if you read the definition for canvas items, it specifically says there's no longer a one-to-one correspondence, and I don't think you should be using this for pixels, for pixel art stuff. It may result in scaling artifacts. I got to tell you, I tested this in a reference project, and if you see a scaling artifact, clap your hands. I don't think you will. I'm going to click Advanced Settings. We're advanced today. And then we're going to go down here to Window Width Override and Window Height Override. And for some reason, whoa, don't do that. This is the tell Godot what size you actually want the window. So we actually want our window to be 1280 by 720. Pretty standard high def. And that should look right. If it doesn't, I have one more setting I could try. Okay, I know what I did. Project settings. See where it says scale? Just set it to 1. Done. Play. It looks exactly the same. It's almost as if I wasn't even there. Oh! I forgot this from last episode. I still have my test roll in here. Comment that out, and now roll will equal whatever I tell it to equal. It looks like we did nothing at all, but later on when we start to have some UI nodes, this is going to be a much more sane setting for us. All right. I'm going to take you into another program. Editing me, please fade me in. So this is Sprite. You can do this in Sprite, you can do it in MS Paint, you can do it in Crayon. It really doesn't matter. But let's pretend we're making a dialog box. And I want black. I want like true black. So I'm going to come down here and add that color to the palette. It's acting like I can't. This is an Sprite specific trick, but sometimes I make a color that's like barely not black. Why is it not letting me add that to the palette? That's crazy. What color mode am I in? I'm in indexed. Haha, okay. You'll never know that that's not black. Look at it. Let's pretend we want to make the world's most basic dialog box, right? Looks same. We can make it different sizes and import a bunch of different JPEGs. And so, like, maybe one box is this size and then maybe another. And then we could make another one and it would be like this size. And then we could, whoops, don't do that. Hey, Sprite, quit. And then we would and put this here and put it. And then I could fill in the and do all this. This is stupid and exhausting. Don't do this. Because if we give Godot the right kind of file, then you don't have to make different size text box for different size things, because Godot will just scale it for you. I'm going to start with a canvas that is like 9x9, width 9, height 9, and I reserve the right to change that. And I'm going to make the world's most basic. That is not 9x9. I want it 3x3. Oh my God. Watch me do math live. Okay, 3x3. Let me get that good black color going. Perfect. This is the extreme bare minimum of what you would have to give Godot for it to figure out how to scale this for a box. You could do this if you wanted sharp corners. I kind of don't. I'm going to be just the littlest bit fancy. Do I want 4x4? Let me see what 4x4 looks like. Yeah, I can do this 4x4. Whoop, I bumped my mic. I want it 5x5. I'll show you why. You'll see. I'm doing a little bit too much, but you still love me. That's probably right. Yeah, now, again, I'm being too fancy with this, but it's going to come out really cool. Oh, no. Put a darker gray up here, like at the corners. As long as I have that white patch in the middle, I can be as dumb as I want to. Haha. Okay. So what's going to happen is, and we'll do this next episode, but we're going to tell Godot, this is the top edge. This is the side edge. This is the bottom edge. And this is the other side. You scale it for me, Godot. That's what we're going to do. I will leave this in the little drive with all of the files that I've been giving you, and you are totally welcome to take mine. You can also just make your own. Like, this doesn't take any super intense art skills to make. It's, what did I do? I made a fancy one, and this is only 5x5. So what I do when I work in Sprite is I go to File, Save As, and I export the file like directly into Godot's file system. So in this case, I would export it directly into art. You feel free to do that, or you can drag and drop this file from the course files and you can just have it there, sit there looking at you for next time, whatever makes you happier. I'm going to go into Godot and I'm going to show you one last thing. Hold on. I promised you this last time. What is classes? What is a class name? Why did she have us type this? Think of classes as like a super variable. A class is a set of variables and functions that you can kind of always expect an object to have. I heard the word template one time. Template's a really good word. The easy way to kind of think about classes in Godot is they're all nodes, right? And if I hold control and I click on this, it says class node because a node is a class. You can read here. You can always expect nodes to understand queue free, for example, which we haven't done queue free, but it deletes the object. You can always expect nodes to have the string that's an editor description. In this case, we made a class named direction, and we can always expect direction to have the which way enum, no matter what's going on. We also last time made a class of spot, and we can always, no matter what's going on, expect a spot to have this direction. Let's go into main. So that's why we had to change this from node to spot. I need Godot to expect a type of variable that is spot in this array that has a direction. Just another little doo-doo dumb trick. It'll probably yell at me, but if I've got this real quick, don't do this, just watch. Var, whatever. It probably needs to be on ready. On ready, var, example equal. Let's type it as spot. See, it'll let me do that. I'm not even gonna. Just in a practical sense, in Godot only, if you've got a variable typed as a class that you've defined, and you hit that dot, guess what? Now you've got all of the nope, not directions. Now you've got all of the variables that are associated with that class just right there, and the autocomplete works really well. So just in a practical sense, classes are really fun. They save you some typing. That is all I've got for right now. You have an excellent one, and I will see you next time.